Have you ever thought about all the things that happen inside your body? The human body, like all living organisms, has many different systems, which is the topic of our lecture today. A body system is defined as a group of organs that work together to carry out a very specific function. Humans have 11 different body systems. These systems carry out every function necessary for life. When your body is healthy, the systems work together very smoothly. But if even one of the systems breaks down, you'd be in big trouble. You wouldn't be able to survive. Today, I'd like to focus on 3 of the 11 human body systems: the digestive system, the cardiovascular system, and the respiratory system. These 3 systems each have their own role in the body, but they also work together in very important ways. Together, they bring oxygen and nutrients to every part of the body. Of course, humans need oxygen and nutrients to live, so our digestive, cardiovascular, and respiratory systems are really important. Okay, where should I start? We all like to eat, so maybe I'll start with the digestive system. Our bodies use the energy in the food we eat to carry out all of our daily life functions. To get the energy from food, our body has to break it down and take the nutrients out of it. This process is called digestion. Digestion begins as soon as you put food into your mouth. As your mouth moves and chews the food, it becomes softer and breaks apart into smaller pieces. When the pieces of food are small and soft enough to swallow, they travel from your mouth down to your stomach. There in the stomach, powerful muscles squeeze the food and mix it together with chemicals. This phase can last for several hours, and when it's over, the food has become a thick soup. From the stomach, it then moves into the small intestine where something very important happens. Nutrients from the food pass through the intestine and move into the blood. Those nutrients have now become part of the cardiovascular system, which I'll talk about next. We're not quite done with digestion. There's one more step. After taking all of the nutrients out of the food, the body doesn't need the leftover food anymore. This waste moves into the large intestine and finally out of the body. The whole process of digestion from mouth to large intestine takes about 24 hours to complete. Another important system is the respiratory system. Now, the job of this system is to bring oxygen from the air into the body. When we breathe, air enters our body through our mouth and nose. Next, it travels through an airway into our lungs. The air that enters our lungs is rich with oxygen. Inside the lungs, all of this oxygen passes into our blood. Like food, oxygen is necessary for life. Our body uses oxygen to carry out all of its life functions. We need to breathe about 8 liters of air every minute to stay alive, and even more when we exercise. Without oxygen, we would die in just a few minutes. And by now, you've probably figured out that blood has many important roles in the human body. It brings nutrients from food and oxygen from the air to every part of our body. Blood is part of the cardiovascular system, and that's what I want to talk about next. The cardiovascular system is made up of 3 things: our blood vessels, and the heart. The heart is the source of power in the cardiovascular system. With every beat, the heart pushes blood in a cycle around the body, from the heart to the body, around the body, and finally, back to the heart again. When blood first leaves the heart, it's oxygenated, which just means that it's carrying a lot of oxygen. Vessels carry this oxygenated blood all over the body. One of the places the blood goes to is our small intestine. And do you remember what I said? What happens in the small intestine? That's where the blood picks up nutrients from food. As blood travels around the body, it gives oxygen and nutrients to each cell. When the oxygen in our blood has been used up, blood vessels carry it back to the heart. Then it's pumped into the lungs to get fresh oxygen from the respiratory system. Finally, the blood returns to the heart, ready to begin the cycle all over again. The entire cycle from heart to body and back to heart to lungs and back to heart again takes only 20 seconds. Well, that's a pretty simple overview, but I hope you can see how these 3 systems, digestive, respiratory, and cardiovascular, work together to maintain life. The digestive system brings nutrients into the body. The respiratory system brings oxygen into the body. The cardiovascular system carries nutrients and oxygen to the cells. Today we talked about only 3 of the body's 11 systems when you consider that there are 8 other equally important systems, you can see that the human body is truly amazing.